Hi there, I'm Deborah Rankin, registered dietitian and food lover, here to talk with you today about my favorite way to enjoy a hot, nutritious meal with green veggies that takes less than 10 minutes to prepare. How does that sound? So what's the big deal about green vegetables? Specifically, dark green leafy vegetables like spinach, kale, arugula, chard are packed with nutrients. Things like beta-carotene, the minerals potassium, and vitamins K and folate. But you still may ask, what does that mean for me? A good intake of beta-carotene is associated with lower levels of C-reactive protein, a marker of inflammation, and thus it's thought dietary intake of beta-carotene can help reduce the risk or severity of chronic diseases involving inflammation. Potassium, and particularly the potassium-sodium ratio in our foods, is thought to reduce belly bloat and help control blood pressure better. And finally, folate and vitamin K help improve mood and brain function. I'd like to show you this graph from a study published in 2017 in the Neurology Journal. Researchers from the University of Louisville studied almost 1,000 older people between the ages of 58 and 99. And they found that consuming 1 serving per day of dark green leafy vegetables was associated with a slower mental decline with aging. In fact, those in the top 20% of the group who consumed slightly more than 1 serving a day on average were 11 years younger in mental function than those in the bottom 20%. This is huge. This is important. So please add dark green leafy vegetables to your daily intake. And now we'll go to the cooking part of the show. Here's how I do it. Medium heat. A couple of tablespoons of olive oil. Then I cut a red onion into thin slices. Red onions are a bit more nutrient rich than yellow or white onions, plus they add a nice touch of color to a dish. And slice a couple of garlic cloves and put that all into the skillet and saute just until the onions are wilted. Now comes the question of what to use for a protein source. There are lots of options. Black beans are great. Half a cup black beans would be a nice addition to this at the end, because it will add up to 3 grams of soluble fiber. I also like pinto beans, but today I have this little piece of salami left in the fridge. I forget what it's left over from some other sandwich, or maybe I even bought it to use as a treat for my dog in dog training. I'm embarrassed to admit. So I will just slice or tear this into small pieces and add this to the dish. And in this case, the meat, the salami, is really just more of a flavoring, an addition. But if you're totally plant-based, the black beans would be a nice option. Let this warm. Here we go. This looks good. The onions are soft. The meat is brown. It's time to add the dark green leafy vegetables. I'm using a mix of kale and spinach. USDA says 1 serving of raw dark green leafy vegetables is 2 cups. I think that looks like 2 cups, don't you? So you just add it to the pan and stir it until the greens wilt, which will take a minute and not much more. We're almost there. I love the beautiful dark green leaves and the red of the onions, the shininess of the olive oil. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. That's it. Season with freshly ground pepper, a bit of salt. Move to your serving plate. And I always like to top this with just a bit of flavorful cheese. A nice parm would be delicious. I've done that many times, but I also happen to know that crumbled blue cheese tastes great with this. And I have a little container of blue cheese crumbles, so I'll just add 1 tablespoon of blue cheese. And there you have it. A nourishing, delicious, tasty meal in less than 10 minutes. The next time you look up and you don't know what to have for lunch or dinner, you don't have to have the popcorn meal or the cold cereal meal or the fast food meal. You can have a nourishing meal with green veggies that takes less than 10 minutes to prepare.